This is Josh Olmstead. Welcome back. This is part 2 of Northwest Disc Golf's coverage of the 20th annual Nuclear Meltdown, presented by Ice Harbor Brewing. If you're enjoying our coverage, consider supporting the channel by subscribing or checking out our Patreon page. On the card, we have Jesse Garcia, Ben Squires, Ryane Laforte, and Cameron Messerschmidt. This is still a very close final round going into the back half of the course, just a few strokes separating the top 4 pros, with Jesse Garcia setting the pace at 8 under par with 13 holes to go. Starting off, we have hole 15, 560-foot par 3.
Cameron Messerschmidt, NWDG number 58814 from Vancouver, Washington.
This is an epic water hole, so much harder because of that heavy wind.
Ben Squires, PDGA number 43290, and I'm from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
It's about a 350-foot shot to clear the water, with some tall bushes on the left blocking any shorter shots that kind of hyzer out
My
early.
name's Ryane Laforte, Spokane, Washington.
Then after they clear this water gap, they're still playing to an elevated basket on the top of a picnic bench down there.
Jesse Garcia, 38766. Oh,
Looks like Jesse is just going to stay in bounds there. He gets lucky to avoid the road as he throws a nice hyzer up shot. He'll have about a 20-foot putt up to that basket. Ben looked like he just missed the water line there. He'll also have a nice layup. Ryan will do so as well. And Cam's drive cleared just about 500 feet, and he sinks the birdie. We're definitely going to need to see that again on replay. Good form. Doesn't even need to jump. Just snaps a 50-footer. That's a huge birdie here on 15. Looks like everyone else is going to clear out pars, as Jesse's lead will shrink down to just 1 stroke after 15 holes. After that meltdown on hole 14 with the 7, suddenly this round got a lot more interesting. Up next we have hole 16, 350-foot par 3. After that dramatic water hole, this is a pretty straightforward par 3. Just a couple of scattered trees there on the left guarding this pin. The challenge for this hyzer line is going to be getting the disc to skip far enough left once you get around that last tree, especially with that wind in your face. And for us mere mortals, I imagine that having the river on the right is probably a little bit intimidating as well, knowing that just a little bit too much flip will put you out of bounds. So Ryan gets a good drive up there. He's only about 40 feet. He actually gets a little bit past the basket. Jesse playing a hyzer flip there. It looks like it's tracking well if it can get around the trees. He does a good job. He's just about 30 feet. Ben with the longest putt. He's not going to have much chance to make that with the amount of wind there is. And Ryan is throwing some really good straight putts. He almost sinks that. Cam going for back-to-back birdies. Comes up a little left. And it looks like all of these guys are going to miss their longer birdie putts. So a set of 4 pars as these guys finish up this hole quick. So no action on the card after hole 16. Jesse's still holding a 1-stroke lead over Cam, with Ben and Ryan just a few strokes behind that. Moving on to hole 17, we have another monster par 4 with the Sunday position stretched 200 feet longer to really challenge these pros. There's a double mando off the tee. It's fairly wide, but as you can see there, if you flip it over like Cameron did, you're going to be stuck with a tough position to drive out of. As Ben just squeaks through the mando. Gonna say again, the community out there in Kennwick, Washington, doing an amazing job setting up a really beautiful course. This course has just about everything. Length, out of bounds, water, difficult pin positions. Really a full community effort. Everyone I've talked to has really praised the work of the Tri-Cities Disc Golf Club getting this course ready. As Ben does a good job getting his forehand up there. Cam going really high with his forehand. He needs to hope that stays dry. And it looks like he is out of bounds there on the right. Definitely, you can tell that these guys are really going to try to keep their shots low. You don't want to give the wind any chance to take your disc somewhere out of bounds. And Jesse is not happy with that drive. I can see why. He pushes left. Not going to get the luck of the skip this time. Wanted to come back. Looks like Cam is pitching out there. This will be his 5th shot. He'll just hope to tap in for a double bogey, killing a little bit of that early momentum here on the back half after a really nice start here. Ben will lay up, so he'll take his par. So Jesse will lay up and take his bogey. Cam does a nice job limiting the damage to a 6. He does not want to repeat the 7s that we saw on hole 14 as Ryane gets a birdie. Beautiful job carving up this hole. That is a fantastic score. As Ben will tap out his par and Jesse will clean up an OB bogey. Pretty good job there, considering the penalty stroke. So after that, the card gets a little bit tighter. Cameron drops back to 2 strokes behind Jesse, but Ryane climbs up. He's only 3 strokes off the pace. So we move on to hole 18. Hole 18, this is a 375-foot par 3. It's a pretty open par 3. The main challenge is going to be staying low under those early branches. So you can see a lot of these holes, you know, there'll be a big obstacle about 150, 100 feet in front of you. You just need to focus on getting through that. As you see there, Ben is going to leave himself with a very difficult upshot. Got to focus on the first obstacle before you think about getting into the pin. As Jesse squeaks through there, he'll have a long putt. Cam doing a great job keeping it low. Unfortunately, that's not going to stay flipped. And he's actually safe out there. He was asking about the OB, but the path he is on is inbounds. Ben does a great job. 250 feet on his upshot. These guys are throwing a lot of good forehands. You can really tell all 4 of these players have a good forehand and a good backhand. Something a lot of amateur players do not. Cameron running a big jump putt. It looks like he wanted that one. Ryan here with his putt for birdie. Sails a little long. He'll have a testy comebacker for his par. Oh, and he squeaks it through. Playing with a tailwind. That disc just wants to drop out of the air. So the card takes a batch of 3s. Everyone gets a par. Nothing changes. Still a 2-stroke lead for Jesse. Moving on to hole 19. This is a 270-foot par 3. It's a short dogleg left. This player's earning a little break after all those big holes. As we
Get through
move
it. Kick left.
back into this campground area.
Go park though.
Assistant Tournament Director Justin Shrack was telling me that this whole campground area is all new. This is all put in by volunteers. They're working with the Parks Department to hopefully eventually make a permanent back 9 here so that this course will be 27 holes year-round. But some really cool holes, even though they're all essentially temporary holes. No concrete tee pads. As Cam, that's a great looking shot. Gets a nice skip, and he'll have a drop-in birdie. Closest drive on the card. Jesse jump putting about a 40-footer, a little bit off. Ryane with a good opportunity to catch another stroke back on the leader. Misses his birdie putt. Ben to get within one stroke of the lead, but he crashes out left, weak side. Ryane drills his par putt. He's definitely doing a good job making those comebackers. And Cam looks like he's thankful that that one stayed down. Nice birdie for Cam. Maybe putting the demons of that OB6 out of his mind, as he's once again just one stroke back from Jesse for the lead. As we move on to hole 20, another 270-foot par 3. This is a pretty tight, straight hole. It's going to cut right at the finish. The basket guarded by a tree, some low branches. You really have to keep this just off the ground and try to skip it right. So Ryane puts a forehand out there. Kind of hard to tell where that one ended up. Ben is going to go for the skyline. A little bit of a risky shot. He actually went a little bit right of the pin, cleared it. And Jesse taking the laser backhand line. Does a good job getting it up there. Cam with that puck lab mid-range. That's a really good shot from where he was, getting out of trouble. A lot of the time on a course like this, your ability to escape from a bad drive and get pars is really important. Even par today was a 982 rated round, so the name of the game is just avoiding the big numbers. And it looks like everyone on the card is going to take the 3. No one capitalizing on this short hole. So no fireworks on hole 20. Jesse's still holding a 1-stroke lead. As you can see, only 3 strokes separate all 4 of these guys. This is going to be a fun finish with 7 holes to go. Hole 21, we have a 395-foot par 3. This is definitely a bomber hole in the wind, long and straight. You can see the pin down there, nestled in the trees.
You know, we were just funny if it would have went in, we were just joking about.
This Cam wondering about an ace run. Ryane comes up a little bit short, but he gets a nice skip there. Looks like he's about 60 feet away from the pin. It's definitely a challenge trying to keep this shot straight. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ben Squires.
Ben putting a huge crank on that one, getting some love from the card. It was a beautiful drive. Hopefully he'll get an opportunity to capitalize with the bird. As Jesse Garcia, the leader, comes up short. He's going to have to do a little work just to get his par, but lays up nicely. Ryane with another big putt. Looks like he just pushed that one a little wide. Couldn't get that hyzer putt to dive in. And Ben cashes in on the huge monster drive. Good birdie. And it looks like Cam actually went past the basket. That's why he was asking about that ace run. He capitalizes with a nice birdie of his own. As Ryane taps out, Jesse will put in his par. So it looks like we have a tie. The first tie of the round. Cameron catches back up to Jesse. So with just 6 holes to go, Ben with 1 stroke behind Jesse and Cam for the lead. Hole 22, we have a 360-foot par 3. Still in this built-out campground area. It's a sloping dogleg right. This really tests your ability to hold an Anheuser backhand in the wind. Always a challenge. Ben taking another high line. That's probably the only way these guys can reach the pin. It's kind of a risk-reward hole. You can see Ben ends up about 50 feet from the pin. Ryane also going with the high line. See if he can flex that hole, flex that in. He does a great job. He's just 30 feet from the pin. It's a huge drive. Ooh, Jesse, looks like he might have, I don't know what happened there. Went with the low line, hit some trees. Needs to keep his game sharp if he wants to hold on to the lead here. And that's one way to do it. It's a beautiful upshot. Sky hyzer for Jesse. Ben looks like he was just laying that one up. No need to risk going long. Cameron cashes in a huge birdie, and we have a new leader. With just 5 holes to go, Cam takes a 1-stroke lead over Jesse Garcia. So after being down as many as 6 strokes, Cam catches back up, takes the lead. Excellent work for Cameron. As we move on to hole 23, just 225 feet. This is the shortest hole on the whole course, but it is by no means an easy birdie. This is another hole with a tunnel option. You can take a high line or a low line. If you take the low line, you have to get a hard skip to the right on your forehand. Really have to crank it. As you can see, the entrance to the pin is only about 20 feet wide. Ryane and Ben both end up a little bit long. Wonder if the tailwind might have affected their shot. And Jesse taking the sky route. He's asking for some love, and it looks like he gets it. As the card likes what they see. Ryane here having to play from his knees. That's not going to be an easy putt for par. Cameron comes up a little short as well. So it looks like Jesse didn't quite punch through to the green, but he gives himself an easy layup for 3.
Wow.
So Ryane saves a big par. Ben does as well. So we're going to have another hole with all 3s. Good job by the card. Avoiding mistakes. Sorry, Ryane actually got a 4 there. So Ryane will drop back. He's 5 strokes off the pace now. He needs to do some big work if he wants to make up those strokes with just 4 holes to go. And there's still plenty of chances to do it. As the last 4 holes are all big holes over 500 feet. Hole 24, this is 560 feet. Pretty wide open hole, one of the easier par 4s on the course. The main obstacle is that big bush, about 300 feet out. As long as you can avoid that, you're going to have a chance to get a birdie. Jesse cranks a huge hyzer. That's a great shot. He's right where he wants to be, in the middle of the fairway. Ryane, the one player on the card who seems to be forehand dominant. He's hoping that'll stay over. He's in the light rough, but he should still have a good chance to get a birdie on this hole. As you can see, Ben got stuck in the trouble, but still manages to put up a great shot. Ryane, great upshot. He'll have an easy birdie. Let's see if Jesse can keep pace. He really needs a birdie on this hole. He actually goes a little bit far. That's going to be a tough comebacker for his bird. Cam with the long drive of the group. And Jesse putting into a really strong headwind. That is not going to help him a par here. As Ben also knows that he missed a good chance for a bird on hole 24. want to mention the Columbia Center Rotary Club donated about 20 baskets recently to help make sure that they had enough temporary baskets. A lot of these holes have 2 baskets on each hole. As we move into the final 3 holes, Cameron's now opened up a 2-stroke lead. We'll see if he can close the door and take home the title. So hole 25, we have another huge par 4. This is a little bit tougher than the last hole, but it's still another chance for birdie for the pros.
Really? That's like the one thing I didn't need was that tree. Oh well.
Cameron a little bit disappointed to hit that lone big tree on the left. It's a sloping dog leg, just moves a little bit to the left. It's really important to make this fairway around those 2 large trees in the middle, as the approach to this hole is a little bit more guarded than hole 24.
Yep.
And
I think you're gonna like it out there, baby.
asking for a skip, looks like he got it. So Jesse Garcia, knowing that he needs a birdie, he pulls out a huge drive. He's happy with that. Cam with a little bit of a turnover mid-range. Gets knocked down by that last tree. You can see it's one last obstacle on the hole. Got to keep it low. Play the skip shot as Ben does there. As Ben will have a drop-in birdie. That is a beautiful shot. Cam for his birdie. Oh, and he misses. Opens the door for the rest of the card as everyone else has birdie opportunities. Ryane will take a bird. We'll see if Jesse can get back to within 1 stroke, and he does. It's a great shot. Ben will also take a birdie, staying in the hunt for first place. Cam drops in his par, hitting with those 12-time ABRs. So Jesse and Ben 1 and 2 strokes back of Cameron. We've got some drama coming down on the last 2 holes. This is an exciting final 9 of this 27-hole course. So hole 26, 620 feet. This is one of the longer holes on the course. Just 2 holes longer.
Oh, great, man.
See, these guys have this initial hill, so one of the few holes to really feature much uphill on this course. Got to clear a hyzer, make it out into this landing area, try to get some good footing in what is still a pretty rough area of this course. It's not the manicured, mowed grass that you saw on the first 18 holes. Cam going with the big hyzer. That's looking beautiful. He'll have a great look for his second shot. And it looks like Ryan's disc is lost. Card putting in a team effort to try to find it, but you can just see that is some really harsh rough. It's a really unfortunate break for Ryane. Trying to claw back into contention. Unfortunately, that will probably take him out of the running for the title here. Jesse, with about 400 feet to go to the hole, throws a great drive. So you can see this second shot plays a dogleg right. The hole is right out in the middle of the field. You can see the red flag fluttering in the distance, right in the middle of a big fairway. Ryane calling for that to get off the left side rough. He's lucky to get out of there. He'll have actually a pretty safe shot. And Cam, with a birdie potentially giving him a huge 2-stroke lead, he'll have a chance at an important birdie. As Ben will lay up, he's going to get a par on this one. Ryane throws his 6th, goes a little bit long. And Jesse from the left side rough also laying up for a par. And Cameron with the clutch birdie. He's got ice in his veins. See that on replay. He's been making everything on these last 10 or so holes. That is an awesome putt. And Ryane just can't seem to catch a break on this course. That is about the 4th spit out we've seen from him today. Really unfortunate as he had a lot of good shots on this round. As Jesse and Ben tap out their pars, they know they've got their work cut out for them on the 27th hole, as Cameron makes it to double digits under par. For the 27th hole, we have a 700-foot par 4, tied for the longest hole on the course. Big, wide open hole. Cam knows that he just needs to put down a par and he will walk away with first place. Good shot there. Really the only danger on this hole is flipping it over and going into the rough on the right. A little bit surprised that no one's taken a roller, as that would seem to be an attractive option on this hole, although the wind will make rollers a lot harder.
That's a
Ryane crushes a backhand drive. He's got a lot of power on both sides of his game. Definitely a very complete player. As Ben will go with the forehand approach. Probably needs this to go in to have a chance. But he'll take a birdie, as you can hear. Making a push for second place. Fighting with Jesse here. Jesse, he's going to have a little bit of work to do for his birdie 3. And Cam basically on a victory lap at this point. He just needs this to be anywhere near the pin. Does a good job throwing his daredevil owl putter. It's Jesse to get to 9 under. Pushes that one a little bit left. So Cam just needs a 2-putt will give him the lead. He's okay with that. I think he knew he just needed to get a par to seal the deal. As Ryane drops in a great birdie. It's a fantastic putt and a good hole to finish. As Jesse will finish out the round in second place. Actually a tie for second place with Ben Squires. As Cameron gets a little bit of love from the rest of the card. You can tell these guys a lot of camaraderie here in the Washington disc golf community. Great display of disc golf. Great work by these guys. Putting together a good final round. Jesse and Ben at 8 under par. Cameron with a 10 under. His final round was rated 1009, so a great round for him. As Kyle Phillips jumps up from the chase card to take 4th place.
And the guy with the big money in first place men's open, $420 is Cameron Messerschmidt.
I gotta thank Kim and Justin and anyone who put on any time on that course. It looked absolutely amazing out there. I mean, the players I had all weekend put up with me for the most part. I didn't always keep my emotions the way I should have, but I think I had a pretty good attitude out there, and I just had some good guys to play with, especially today. Jesse both days, Ben Squires, Ryane. It's really hard to beat it, being home in Washington and playing some disc golf. So I'd also need to thank my sponsor, Team Waka and Daredevil Discs, and hopefully I'll be back next year.
Yeah.